In exactly 127 days, I'm deleting my indie game Fire and Brimco forever. 4 years of work, thousands of hours of effort, gone. My entire career as an indie game in the recycling bin. Unless I can fix this one thing that has been ruining my game: the enemies. Steam Next Fest is happening in October, and this is a make or break moment for me. And I've made a real pact with myself that if I don't release a highly polished, playable demo, I'm done forever. And to make the stakes even higher, I refuse to release a half-baked, bug-riddled game just to meet the requirements. We've actually built something pretty special so far. We have a satisfying, destructible environment. We have bullet holes that go into the wall, a bunch of other really cool features that I'm gonna make another video on all about polish. But there's one massive, glaring issue that is threatening to ruin everything. Specifically when the enemies are chasing the player, it just feels completely janky. We need to take a step back so I can explain how these enemies are built. I'm using an asset called A-Star Pathfinding made by Aaron. It basically scans my level, creates a grid, and tells the enemy, hey, take the shortest path to the player. Simple, right? But getting this grid-based AI system to actually feel good has been kind of a nightmare. Let me walk you through the different steps that I've taken to get to this point. On our first attempt, we set it straight out of the box. A couple check marks here, a couple check marks there, slide some sliders, and boom, we're ready. The enemies calculate a path to the player. And the results? At first, it looks pretty good. But as soon as you start kiting the enemies, they all start calculating that same path to the player and end up in a conga line stacked on top of each other, forming a mutated limbed enemy that you could shoot with one fireball. So step number 2, I thought the obvious thing was don't calculate to the center of the player. Let's create a squad manager. There's little spots that they can calculate to around the player. We'll rotate the ring so it's moving. So in theory, the enemy should always start calculating a new point and not stack on top of each other. The results here worked a little bit better until I realized I have melee enemies and different ranged enemies, and eventually the slots got filled and they started stacking on top of each other again. This brings me to my third and final attempt, and I went real deep in the documentation and actually tried to pay attention to how this thing was built. I used this thing called RVO controllers and a dynamic obstacle system or components, and what this does is essentially make a larger hitbox where you can't get through the person. So you can kind of think of it as like a crowded subway station and everybody's bumping towards each other, but you each have your own little bubble and you can't get any closer. And this seemed to work really good. Now the enemies were always spread out a set distance no matter what, because they just physically couldn't get closer to each other. The only problem with this is we have some tight corridors in our room or corners or office, and the enemies, when they get too close and stuck, they just start twitching out like they've had too much Adderall that day and don't know what to do. So I've spent far too much time trying to make the enemy AI to just chase the player feel good. Whether they're stacking on top of each other or violently twitching, I'm out of ideas how to make this feel good. And Next Fest is breathing down my neck with an October deadline. 127 days seems like a long time, but in game dev, one day can easily lead into 1 week, which can easily lead into 1 month. And next thing you know, we're gonna miss our deadline, I'm gonna wipe my game, and you'll never see me again. And we can't have that happen. So I'm pulling out the heavy artillery. I'm caving in and I'm using AI to solve this problem. And lucky for us, apparently the most capable model, Fable 5, just came out, and we're gonna throw everything we have at it. Single prompt, max effort, to see if it can solve it. And just in case it uses up the whole plan, we also have Gemini 3.1 Pro extended to do the exact same thing. So 1, not only are we going to answer, is AI even useful in game dev? But 2, we're going to see, is Fable 5 worth all the hype? And can we save my indie game before Next Fest? So let's dive into the prompt we're using. All right, I'm not going to go through the whole prompt here, but we'll just hit the highlights. So role context, let it know it's an expert Unity C# developer. It knows a lot about A-Star Pathfinding Pro project. I let it know the tech stack, Unity 2022 3.62F. The version of our pathfinding is 5.44. I know there's an update, and we'll get to it, just not till we solve this problem, which is the twitching and jittering when navigating through tight areas, doorways, and small rooms. I let it know the chronological steps, very similar to the story that we just told. They were stacking, we added the squad manager, we tried some RVO controller stuff, refined it a bit. The scripts that we'll be uploading is the chase movement, because it's chasing is when the jittering happens, the squad manager, those little things that rotate around the player, as well as the enemy controller so it has a full view of what's happening. We'll upload the screenshots as well, layer that in, letting it know to look at the screenshots. And then the goal is we need a clear solution that retains local avoidance, no stacking, but ensures a smooth navigation through tight corridors without agents gridlocking or jittering against walls or each other. We give it some instructions, we'll upload our files, we'll upload the screenshots, and now we're gonna run both Claude, Fable 5, and Google Gemini 3.1, max mode and extend mode to see what the results are. I'm excited and hopefully this works. I'll be back in anywhere from 1 to 38 minutes. Okay, both are finished. I've taken a minute to review the output. And first things first is Claude Fable 5 max mode took almost 21 minutes plus, and Google Gemini 3.1 extended took 1 minute. Looking at the differences right off the bat, Fable 5 actually rewrote all my scripts and found some errors and some actual like core errors that could have been causing the issue. And Gemini just gave me 5 things to check. Both of them identified 2 or 3 of the exact same things. This one is I used an outdated class here from a previous version, so that's my bad for not reading the documentation properly. The other big thing is that my radius of the little blocker around my enemies are larger than the size of the enemies. Yeah, another thing that both of them found is, for number 1, is the radius of the avoidance area is too big. So I have one, it says on Google Gemini to change it to 0.4 or 5, and on Fable it says pick 0.5. So this is pretty close. The only difference is Fable 5 goes into more details and tells me even more things to reconfigure. Waypoint, cut that in half, pretty much cut everything in half and constrain inside the graph. There was a little issue where they kind of would cut corners, so maybe that's what this does right here. The next piece is both of them say to delete the dynamic obstacle. It's just not useful. I guess I disable it in the code anyways. We'll delete that. Both talk about the RVO controller. Increase my max neighbor, decrease the time horizon. Gemini looks like to decrease the time horizon, different values though. Gemini says to put it way lower, 0.2, 0.3, where Fable is 0.5. Then again, Fable 5 has another one, increase the max neighbors. Nothing about that on Gemini. It talks about some physics layers, double checking our mass, it looks like. I'm gonna set everything up and try it. Okay. So what I've set up in our, Fight Club level, which rule number 1 is we don't talk about Fight Club, and I won't tell you what rule number 2 is. But essentially what we have here is a bunch of interns down the bottom. You'll see them spawn in a second, and then some of our ranged enemies and one of our jungle enemies here. I've just placed a lot of couches to create a tight corridor mess, which is what you would find a much better design in our actual levels. I don't want to give anything away, so when you play the demo, you'll love it. So make sure to wishlist Fire and Brimco on Steam, link in the description. And we're gonna hit play, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like now before I set these settings up. So you can see here how they get stuck on everything and they start to jitter, right? With all the little yellow circles here. All right, first off, there's a different issue here that I have to solve. You come in to solve one thing and you find another thing. All our couches aren't labeled right, so enemies can walk right into them. They think they can pass through those. So let's fix that quickly. I might have just figured out something here. This couch isn't perfectly centered. Now, Hades, the graphical genius that he is, the executive director of visuals, would never have a couch not on grid. So maybe this wouldn't be an issue. This is the fact that you gave a developer the tools to just kind of try to make the enemies break. But I mean, it's a good test here. So what's happening is this little point is trying to go in the center. This couch collider here, you can see the couch here. There's no collider in the center, so therefore it thinks it's safe to walk through. So in this scenario, we would actually want to put every couch in the exact center of this, so that now when I rescan the graph, here, it's gone. Boom, just like that. Okay, we'll rescan. Okay, our graph looks good now. Okay, well, let's play maximized and see. It's gonna be sweet. You're gonna see all the enemies spawn at once. They're gonna navigate through the couches, and it's either they'll jitter up and get stuck, or we'll find out here. Yeah, see how they're getting jittery right there, right? Right there. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to fix. And then they're all just like perfectly placed. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, Fight Club, we allow you to die so I can do some more testing like this. Yeah, and if we look here, and what's happening is you can see all the circles just colliding against each other. They can't get past these circles. So that is what we're trying to fix. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is make sure our radius goes from 1 to half the size. And that's on the graph itself. So node size, oh, right here, okay. So node size right here, cut that in half. Now the nodes are a lot smaller. Oh, and that previous point thing that we were just talking about, this makes a big difference as well too. So everything is going to fit through the pass. So not only do things have to be aligned, but the actual nodes and the diameter of the enemies have to line up as well too. So now I need to make the graph twice as big. It'll be 74, and this will be 34. There we go. If I rescan, oh yeah, this is already looking good. So I wonder here, actually out of curiosity, if I go to point, scan, okay, yeah, see point now it's all off again. So keep this circle, and if I keep it 1, okay, grabs it. If there's anything in that cube or in that grid, that little grid grid number, the enemies can't walk there. Okay, number 1, check, done. Let's move on to the next. The next thing that they agree is we need to delete the dynamic obstacle from all the enemies. Let's start. Purple skin boy, where you at? Dynamic obstacle, remove component, update overrides, apply all. We're updating all the prefabs. No one's gonna have these anymore. Dynamic obstacle, boom, gone. Get rid of it, get out of here. Dynamic obstacles, gone, boom. 2 of the 5 to 7 things done off the checklist. Yeah, RVO controller, max neighbors 4, time horizon, cut in half. Both of them mention this, so lower the time horizon, but leave the agent time. Okay, keep the agent time, both agree on that. This locks off the random. So I wonder if I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All here, okay. Max neighbors, 8. Obstacle time was 0.5. Time horizon was 0.5. We can always lower it more, but we'll go with the 0.5 that Claude told us to do, Fable 5. It seems like it cares more about us. We're gonna apply overrides to all 1, 2, 3 things off the list. All right, 2 more to check, and then what we'll do is we'll probably just copy and paste the scripts that Fable 5 gave us to update the 3 different areas: the chase movement, the enemy controller, and the squad manager. Putting a lot of trust in this. Normally the way I like to use AI when I'm coding is I commit, I design the entire structure, I know what's going on, I paste just a piece in, and I get it to help me build some of it for speed, and then I update everything. Now it's not as efficient, but I know exactly what's happening, I know what I'm putting in it, and I know how to fix it if something goes wrong. Yeah, the things that both Gemini and Claude have agreed on is done completely. I'm gonna hit play, see what the results are. I haven't applied any of the Claude only suggestions, so we'll see if it makes a difference. And while this loads, my prediction is they're still gonna get stuck because the radius around the enemies are still big. So they're gonna get through and navigate a little bit better around the world, but I think they're still gonna get stuck on each other. They are getting stuck still, but yeah, you can see here that they still are all stuck on each other, but they don't seem to be twitching. Oh, they catch the corner, so maybe they're trying to cut corners a little bit. I will say it looks a lot better. What we're gonna do now is apply the code changes that Claude only has. I'm going to just copy and paste, see what happens. I'll review it afterwards, and we'll see if that just fixes it. Stand by. What's gonna happen is gonna load from my save file, which has 0 health, and he never respawns to get his health back. So maybe this is gonna be a bug future. Again, you fix one thing and you find 2 more things to fix. Oh, the speed of everything slowed way down. What did we change that slowed the speed way down? Because our little intern guy should run way faster. Yeah, see, they can't actually get to me in this corner. That's the problem, right? The rotation of the rings is cool. So you can see the rings rotating, which is really cool. But the problem is, see, they're stuck here, so they actually can't get to me. And this is the problem. Like, I want to keep them spaced out like this until they're like within an attack radius, and then they can come in, because these guys have to run right in. I think we're narrowing down on what the actual issue is. So maybe we have to turn off this. So like, let's grab all the interns here. See, it shrinks, it shrinks, it shrinks, it shrinks. Something like maybe the closer it gets to the player, the more this shrinks, right? Now they can actually hit me. They still can't though, right here, because this big guy's in here, right? So I don't know why this guy's kind of get closer. He has a long attack range, so he should stop as well. So there's another bug here. You know, fix 1, 3 found so far. Okay, reviewed a little bit. It looks like it's changed a few things. It changes the melee standoff. It resets the rate, so that's why all my enemies are now going back to the same speed. So I'm gonna have to rechange that. It also asks for a couple more questions. So let's give it the RVO simulator, and let's give it the matrix. Let's also let it know exactly the problem. I've applied all the code changes so far. One of the issues right away, it seems like all the enemies now are going the exact same speed. Before I had it that my melee enemies could go a little bit faster. Also, my ranged enemies aren't stopping in range. After they fire, they now chase all the way to the player instead of the attack range. Can you review this? I've attached the RVO simulator as you asked, as well as the physics 2D matrix, so you can see that. The jittering still doesn't seem to happen, but now the players are getting stuck on the radius of each enemy. Maybe I'll attach a screenshot of that as well too. So it's almost like the radius of the enemies need to get smaller as it gets closer to the player, maybe. Might be one idea, but I'll let you do the work. You are the AI model that's going to save everything. So take your time, double check your work, don't come back if there's errors, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. And we'll hit play here. Fable 5 is unavailable. That's what I get for waiting a little bit of extra time, because I used up all my credits during the last one, so I had to wait over 5 hours. So I waited until the next day to try this, and now it's unavailable. Let's try again. Oh, they obviously found an issue with it. All right, we'll try 4.8, see if that works. If not, we'll come back when Fable 5 is ready, which could be a little bit. This is pretty wild. The reason why Fable 5 is not accessible is a statement from the US government to pretty much take it down. And the information we gave it about the range coming in, as well as that idea of the radius shrinking, thought it was a good idea. So here we go. There's a couple things that we need to do. That RVO simulator, the new screenshot that we uploaded, it looks like we have to change something here. It looks like the enemies move because of hard collisions. So we actually need to set the speed, not through the path, but through our scriptable object, which makes sense. And let's do that. So the few things we're gonna change is the simulator, the controller, and the path radius. Let's do that. Okay, I'm feeling like maybe this is gonna work out really well. Let's go maximize, let's hit play, and let's see if this works. Oh yeah, look at that. They're coming in there. That looked so much better. All right, the enemies are feeling so much better after that. So I guess to summarize the few questions we have here. Did AI save my game? Yes and no. This whole process did still take me 3 to 4 hours of going back and forth, testing, troubleshooting, which I could have also done by just reading the documentation, testing out, playing, and some of the things I figured out, I came up with the ideas. It did help me write some of the code. I do have to now go back and spend more time to see the actual changes that it did, so I can troubleshoot this in the future, because I don't want to spend, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for it reading all the context and me being able to make versus me just making a small change, and it takes me 1 minute to do, Number 2, just know what you're doing. Spend just a little bit of time understanding the asset or whatever you're working on, because there's 3 or 4 changes that are pretty simple, like add alternate path. Boom, just like that, it penalizes the graph. You get different paths. That solves a small piece of it. 2, if I knew the little node point thing just by playing around, done. Like there's 3 or 4 things that would have made this actually feel probably pretty playable. Finally, the third and most important thing is, if it doesn't feel good, then just keep working on it, right? We don't want to release something half-baked. We want to go all in, make something that really feels like a good, enjoyable experience. And I feel the enemy movement and the enemy chasing feels really good now. So only a couple more things coming up is our abilities, sound design, and then this game is going to be playable for you. So again, thank you guys again for watching. Can't wait to get this game out and in your hands, get more feedback. Appreciate all the support, and we'll see you in the next one.